to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Von Braun Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Gunnersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
It's laundry season at Owen Home Appliance Center. Tired of that washer walking out the door and having to dry a load 2 or 3 times? It's time for a new washer and dryer. Pick from brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, and of course, Speed Queen. Try the new 2-in-1 GE Profile that washes and dries a load all in one machine. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm John Ryder. The Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2025 has been announced, and it includes Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard, WNBA great Sue Bird, Maya Moore, and Sylvia Foles, and Bulls head coach, two-time NCAA champion Billy Donovan. The enshrinement will be in September in Springfield, Massachusetts. The men's Final Four is tonight in San Antonio, featuring all 1 seeds for just the second time ever. Duke faces Houston. Blue Devils have the top offense in the nation, but ESPN's Seth Greenberg says that Duke will rely on their defense against the Cougars.
They're going to rely on their defense. They're active, they're alert, they're connected, their length, their athleticism. They run you up the three-point line. Their point of pickup is 1 step over the three-point line. They have the ability to switch 1 through 4. They are as a completed defensive team as any in the country because they contest the 3, and they also run you into the shot blocker in Malawach and Cooper Flagg. So when you think about defense, a lot of people think about this Houston team, but this Duke defense is elite.
ESPN analyst Seth Greenberg, Houston star L.J. Cryer looking to become the first player to win national titles with 2 different schools. He won it all with Baylor in 2021. Other Final Four matchup is an all-SEC matchup with Florida taking on Auburn. The Gators are currently a 2.5-point favorite on ESPN Bet. One of the best point guards in the portal, Pitt's Jalen Lowe, is transferring to Kentucky, reports ESPN's Jeff Borzello. 1 game in the NHL right now, and it's on ABC. Rangers and Devils scoreless in the first period.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday as we get closer to the draft. I'll tell you what the perfect draft would look like.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And hello and welcome in to the show. It's going to be an interesting one because, Drew, we do not currently have an actual name for what this combination is between us. But we are here live at the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo here at the VBC presented by MLF. And we've got 2 hours straight to talk a little bit of March Madness, the Final Four that starts tonight. And on top of that, a little bit of the coaching changes that are happening in college basketball as we've got something that is going to be interesting for, I would say, all of the area. But, Drew, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. It's great to be here. I at this Red Crest Outdoor Expo, and I'm going to tell you what, it's packed because I had to walk a mile, as they say. I think that's a song. But anyway, we are here for and representing ESPN 97.7 The Zone, and of course, WZZN News Talk Radio. We've already been giving away some stickers today. We met a great friend, working compadre of our great friend, the late Bama Zach. Anybody that grew up here in the Huntsville and North Alabama area and is an Alabama fan knows of course, Zach Green, the late Zach Green. We lost him during the COVID pandemic, but miss him every day. But one of his good coworkers from AdTran came by, got a bottle courtesy of 97.7 The Zone, and of course a couple of our stickers. And it's packed in here, man. It's a lot of fun. This expo is going to be going on today from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. It's free, and like you said, John. So it's you can come in here, go into the South Hall here on the campus. I call it a campus, a pro arena in the VBC because there is different levels of this facility. But if you come to the South Hall, you can be here from until 6:30 p.m. It's free admission, and a lot of folks here, a lot of anglers here, courtesy of Major League Fishing. So this has been pretty cool so far.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And just think afterwards, we actually get to walk around in there, get to see all the shiny toys that a lot of people are carrying out right now.
I was told not to buy anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would.
I can't afford it anyway.
It depends because
I can't afford a boat.
Well, that's what's great about. Well, you're not going to be buying a boat in there per se. That's what that whole boating show is for. But this, on the other hand, you're going to get a chance to get some angles. I don't know exactly all the technical terms for it all, but
fishing rods,
some reels,
reels,
all of that stuff. As I see people
bait,
walking out with
tackle,
all of that good stuff,
all that stuff, all these trinkets.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shops that are lined up in here, and you can get in free. So when you find a parking spot, it is busy downtown, mind you.
Good luck.
Yeah, have fun
right
with
now,
that.
Anyway.
But then when you're actually at the VBC, it's an easy. Just you see the signs, you're going to see us as soon as you walk into the South Hall.
And everybody, you know where the parking garage is. The South Hall is right next to the parking garage. They have Red Crest logos all over the front entrance, so you'll know exactly where you are.
No doubt about that. And we will have some guests on today to talk a little bit about the March Madness that we will have here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone throughout the day. We'll be talking with Aaron Torres from Fox Sports Radio, as well as Jordan Harper from Tider Insider. And Drew, I'm very much looking forward to talking with them because even talking a little bit of Alabama, I talked to you about it yesterday. The season's not over. I mean, the season's never over, especially with the transfer portal, the NIL deals that could be had. There's a lot of players that are going to be coming in. There's also a lot of growth that this Alabama Crimson Tide team is going to need to make a return to the Elite Eight as well as the Final Four.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of interesting you say that because just as we were coming on the air, Alabama, which is the collective for the University of Alabama, just announced some returnees for this roster for the Crimson Tide. Because, again, it's a work in progress with Nate Oates and the staff, and what you're trying to as quickly as possible, even through this dead period. The dead period right now, as far as having players on campus, is April the 3rd, which it's retroactive to the 3rd, and it will go through the 10th. And so it's through early next week, the end of next week, the latter part of next week, Thursday. So the 10th will end that dead period, but, you can still – have a contact with guys, and I can just tell you right now they have just announced the return the university has of Aiden Holloway, the transfer from Auburn, who had a good year coming off the bench. Injured guard who's coming back from an Achilles, Latrell Wright-Sell. He will return for his 5th year at for the University of Alabama. And Houston Millette will return. The shooter that was injured that came over from Pepperdine. And the biggest, literally and figuratively thus far, Aiden Sherrill, sophomore big man. He will be a sophomore next year. So right now, you have Aiden Holloway, Latrell Wrightsell, Aiden Sherrill. That's 3 of the core 4, as I call them. The other one of the core 4 is the biggest fish of all, and that is, of course, LeBaron Philon, trying to get him back for his sophomore year. He certainly has NBA buzz and aspirations. We'll see where that goes. But again, Holloway, Wrightsell, Sherrill, Millette, those 4 have returned. And they also have Amari Allen signed out of the state of Wisconsin, London Jemison out of Connecticut, and Davion Hanna from Link Academy in Missouri. So when you count those 4, guys along with those 3, that's 7. And then they have commitments from Bull Bowen, who they got yesterday from Florida State, a 6'10" stretch 4 who can block shots, really good defender, 41% three-point shooter for Leonard Hamilton. Leonard, of course, retired. Luke Locks has taken over at Florida State, but Bull Bowen had interest from Kentucky, a lot of good schools, but Alabama locked him down. They also locked down Noel Williamson, and Williamson is a big man from Bucknell, the Patriot League Player of the Year, Noel Williamson, and he's a really good fit for Alabama, 7 foot, 250, but mobile. Can shoot he's a true stretch 5, kind of a replacement for Grant Nelson. So roughly that would tell you they have 9 spots taken. Right now that would mean probably 4 left because there can be 13 scholarships. I know that the settlement's hopefully coming soon, with the revenue sharing, and there's talk of adding scholarships, but I don't think any coach is operating with, okay, we're getting 2 more for 15. You have to operate with what you have, and you have 13. So I think Alabama's roughly got 4 spots left. If Philon announced something this weekend, you'd be down to 3. And then that puts, you're looking at guys like Jaron Stevenson, who hasn't announced whether he's returning or not. I'm sure negotiations are ongoing. That's just the way it is right now. And then Darion Reed. Those are 2 guys that I'm sure Alabama would certainly have interest in retaining. But they have not gone in the portal, have not announced they are returning. So those negotiations are ongoing. So we'll see. And there's even rumors about Rylan Griffin potentially returning after a year away at Kansas, but he's still in the portal. Nothing has been announced. So we will see. But certainly a lot of buzz out there, and just about all of it positive. Alabama has lost 2 guys into the portal. Nas Cunningham, who redshirted, did not play. Yep. Not surprised there. And then a mild surprise, the first mild one of the offseason, Mo Diobati. Yeah. He went into the portal yesterday, I think probably after y'all's show.
Yeah, I saw the news come out. I was like, come on. It's always right after the blitz.
Yeah, exactly. So certainly talking ball was done. And then I was, in Tuscaloosa. I wasn't paying attention to my phone at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I found out, first I saw Bull Bowen committed, which was exciting. And then you see, there's a but to it. Mo Diobati, who I think they had been negotiating with and were really wanted to retain, I think, but you know how it goes. Sometimes it's just, okay, this is how much money we have. This is how much we're willing to give you. And if you can't come to an agreement, then you must have a backup plan to move on. So I would watch a guy like Corey Chest, who I know also has received heavy interest from Ole Miss. He's a power forward from LSU. He had 12 points and 18 boards. He visited Alabama before the dead period. I would watch him maybe this weekend. We'll see if something could happen there. And then again, like you said, Jaron Stevenson, Darion Reed. You're watching LeBaron Philon. So Alabama's in the mix for some guys. And then if they lose a LeBaron Philon to the draft, because that would be what would happen, you would very likely lose him to the NBA draft if he doesn't return. Then it's the Jaron Pierres of the world who are receiving heavy interest from throughout the SEC, was Conference USA Player of the Year at Jack State. Alabama's been mentioned with him. He has not visited campus. Now, I did see John Rothstein of CBS Sports. He did report this afternoon or this morning. I guess it's the afternoon now that we're here.
It's a weird show.
Yeah, but I mean, you've been here since this morning. But since this morning, he did say after the dead period ends, we just talked about that on the 10th, and you can go back and visit campuses. Jalil Bethea, former 5-star guard at Miami, he is going to visit NC State and Alabama. So that Bethea is somebody that Alabama is very interested in as well. So it's a kind of a juggling act because, again, right now you have 13 spots that you know of. And if you're Alabama, like I said, it looks as though 9 have been publicly declared. Yeah. So you're working to fill those other 4 slots. You're negotiating with current players. You're looking at a guy like Jalil Bethea, potentially Jaron Pierre. So we'll see what happens. But regardless, I'll just say this: Alabama's going to fill the spot.
They've got
they've got the interest. And then another guy came off the board today. He's in the NBA draft, but he declared that if he pulls out of the draft. He's going to Michigan, and that's UAB forward Yaxel Luxembourg. He's the conference, I can't say that anymore. They were in Conference USA, the American Athletic Conference Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. He was UAB's leader in every statistical category. 6'9", multidimensional power forward. He led UAB nearly to the NCAA tournament. They lost in the conference in their conference championship game, in the American Athletic Championship game, to Memphis. Then they lost in the NIT. But he's moving on to Michigan, and then or potentially the NBA. We'll see.
Doubt. Yeah, and there's always news coming out every single day. We're going to hear some stuff around the Crimson Tide, but we also hear around the college area about coaches moving, because once one big name moves, the rest kind of just trickle down and fall, and there is officially a new face in College Station. And Drew, before we talk about that, we will need to hop into a break because we don't have enough time to talk about that and all of the implications that means. But we do have an angler coming up that is here on location at the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo. We will be getting into a conversation with Drew Gill once we get back. But again, this is 97.7 ESPN The Zone live here at the VBC for the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Pawn Bronze Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Guntersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
Buckhorn Youth Sports was created in 2018 to provide kids in our community the ability to compete at every sport possible. We offer football, flag and tackle, cheer, volleyball, wrestling, basketball, baseball, and softball. You can find us on Facebook at Buckhorn Youth Sports, where we prepare the future. Buckhorn Youth Sports is a proud supporter of Buckhorn High School football. Go Bucks!
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. Ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. 4490. AL certain number 21014.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Greg McCabe with the tap in as the Ice Bears are now in the double digits in consecutive losses.
The Havoc Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
And welcome back into the show. John Abraham here live from the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo presented by the MLF. And we already got ourselves an angler, and we got ourselves a good one because he literally has Gill in his last name, which I thought is perfect. Drew Gill is on with us. Drew, how you doing today, man?
Doing great, man. Obviously, I would have rather had been on the water today, but getting to hang out with everybody here at the Expo is a good bonus.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it kind of, I would say, it gets you into the feel of things a little bit. I mean, now you're kind of getting that atmosphere back, ready to go. Of course, you're coming off of a pretty big wind. And I do want to talk a little bit more about that. I think it was, you said it was a month ago, right?
Yep.
Where you were able to get a win, get a pretty good paycheck. Talk a little bit more about how that kind of came into play. And then also, you know, what type of skills you used to make it happen.
Yeah. Lake Murray was a super cool venue. It was our third event of the regular season with the Bass Pro Tour. And it was our most recent before this event.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into that one, you know, excited. I'd been there before, not same time of year. But, you know, we've known over the last few years what Lake Murray has to offer. It's an exceptional fishery. It's got a ton of bass in it. And we knew we were getting into a barn murder that week for sure. But going into it, you know, I didn't go into it with the game plan of, oh, I'm going to go out here and intentionally try to win this tournament. It's hard to do that. You know, and so I went into it going, I'm going to try and attempt to go rack up another top 10. You know, in my opinion, the best way to consistently have a chance to win an event, especially with our format, you know, with the zeros placed after the qualifying round and the knockout round where our weight gets washed and we start over. Really, your major goal is just tee it up. That's my motto, is get myself into that top 10, get myself in the championship round, and give myself the opportunity to fish for it on the last day. And that's what I did. And went great, man. It went better than expected for sure. And one fun little sidebar there is the last day was Sunday for our championship round, and that was the day after. So basically, daylight savings happened overnight between Saturday and Sunday.
Gotcha.
I had a morning ditch bite that every day was dying at about 9:15. 9:15 became 10:15 of the next day.
It throws everything off.
And I got an extra hour of the ditch bite that I did not get the day before.
There you go.
And that was the determining factor in me winning that tournament. You know, all week, the first period of the day, I was putting up 20-something pounds of weight. And that day, I got an extra hour of that ditch bite, and I put up 45 pounds in the first period. And that was what kind of pushed me over the edge. And that was a super cool little sidebar from that event. But I was going out. I had a ditch deal in the morning, fishing for herring fish in 25, 35 feet of water, shaking a minnow, stumps, isolated, suspended fish, bait chasing fish. And that deal would only run first thing in the morning till like once you really noticed the sun was starting to get up, get a high, that bite would dissipate. So I did that. And then whenever we turned the scope off, went to the bank, I had a pretty specific dock skipping deal the rest of the day with Nico Worm. And that was what allowed me to kind of stave off Wheeler and end up winning that tournament.
Very nice. That's interesting. Do you look at the daylight savings a little bit different now?
Man, I'm going to be honest. I'm always going to be in its corner from here on out because of that tournament. So I won't be able to diss on it from now on.
Yeah, no doubt. Everybody's kind of has their own mixed feelings about daylight savings. It's like, either, it's going to add another hour and then it's also going to take away another hour. But regardless, you're looking forward to now, of course, Lake Guntersville.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about your experience in the past with it, as well as what you're thinking you're going to be. I don't want to give away your secrets, but kind of what works for you at Lake Guntersville.
So Guntersville is one that's it's very sentimental to me. My first ever major tournament top 10 was here in college. My first Toyota championship was here, and I ended up finishing third and making the money that I needed to fish the Invitationals the next year. And it was a very special set of tournaments. This place has always been good to me. And it's one that's got, so many bass. And I mean, it's dam to dam. It does not matter where you go, especially this time of year. There's going to be fish around. It's something that's guaranteed. And, getting out here and figuring it out this week, the big trick was going to be how do you incorporate your scope period and how do you play that right in conjunction with the fact that you can pull up on the bank anywhere and be around bass during the non-scope period. So it was an interesting dynamic this week. I played my cards a little bit wrong in day one. It cost me getting to fish on the weekend, but it was an awesome experience. I definitely learned a lot. It turns out now a lot of the guys are catching them sight fishing, bed fishing, fishing up pretty shallow, doing a little bit of winding around, but I just never got on that deal. It wasn't the card that I was going to play. I felt like if I was going to have a chance to win the tournament, for me, my wheelhouse is, I'm offshore centric. I'm always trying to find stuff that's a little bit off the beaten path. And really on Guntersville, it's hard to find something that's off the beaten path because there's so many bass boats out there. Everybody's taking in the lake. There's so many fish in it. So I totally get it. If I lived around here, I'd be out there about every day too. But it definitely presented a unique set of circumstances and kind of psyched me out a little bit. Ended up playing the wrong cards. But Guntersville's an awesome lake. You can pull up and throw a top water, wind around, sight fish right now, and catch bass just about any way you want to. And it's firing from dam to dam. We've got guys, watching live. There's guys down in Honeycomb and Browns Creek, and there's 2 guys all the way up at Nickajack.
There you go.
So, I mean, the entire lake, dam to dam, is playing not just, in catching bass, but in being potentially the winning pattern.
Yeah, Drew Gill on with us, the 22-year-old MLF fisherman, and you're one of the younger guys that is a part of the MLF right now. And, you've had some years of experience, but you talked about the sentiment that the Guntersville has brought you. Talk a little bit about how you started in this in the first place, going down the path of an angler.
Yeah, man, there's obviously multiple routes that you can take to get to the point in the sport that I'm at, to get to the top, whether it be, with us at Major League Fishing or with Bassmaster. And for me, I started out fishing high school tournaments, transitioned into college fishing, and college fishing is really where it kicked off for me. That's where I found that spark for loving the tournament fishing, not just loving tournament fishing, but kind of obsessing about doing well.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where that transitioned. I got the opportunity to fish the Toyota Series and just kind of worked my way up the ladder. Doors kept opening for me. I'd fish a series, do really well, and have the opportunity to take that next step up. And as I did, it just progressively, kind of carried itself all the way here. I fished, my entire life, starting at a very young age, but I didn't start bass fishing really intensely until I was about 13 or 14 years old. And so realistically, I've not been, doing this hardcore for what I'd say is that long compared to a lot of our fields. So to be able to make that quick transition was something I never dreamed of, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No doubt about it, man. That's an awesome experience. It's cool to see how far you've gotten in this in such a short amount of time. And, it always starts with a little bit of hyperfixation. It always just piques your interest, and then it kind of just goes from there. It's like a snowball effect. And the same can be said for some basketball players that are going to be playing tonight. Have you been following any of the March Madness?
Man, I would say that I have, except for the fact that I've been too busy focusing on the madness of Lake Guntersville this week. So
Gotcha.
I'm a little bit behind on what's going on. But I used to follow it pretty hardcore, and I haven't recently because I overload my tournament schedule to the nth degree. It's the first week of April, and this was my 8th tournament of the year already. So it's been a hardcore schedule for sure.
Yeah, you've been going nonstop. Drew Gill here with us at the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo. You guys come on by, take a right, say hi to us, grab a sticker, and also we have a few little containers that you could bring home as well. But it's always an interesting thing to kind of look at a player, an angler, and their schedule and how they overload it. And for you are a little bit younger. I'm just a few years older than you, and I'm still trying to figure out so much of my life and my schedule for what I'm going to do on the day-to-day basis. So how much does, the family or the friends kind of come into play to help you out with the words that they say to, get your schedule back on track?
Man, it's really important that you stay in touch with things that are not just fishing, because not only can it consume your thoughts and your emotions, but it can get to an extent where you can't physically enjoy other parts of your life if that fishing part of it is not going well. And if you let it get to that state, you get to the point where it's now not just a big part of your life or important to you, it's dominating your existence. So having that close connection, staying in touch with family, friends,
WCZN.
even on the road is
Brian, are you good back there?
It's all good. Thank you, Westwood One.
But it's very important. It's something that is kind of difficult to balance at times for sure when you have a busy travel schedule. But staying in touch is important to keeping yourself grounded and understanding that fishing is a big part of what you do, but it can't be all that you do, because if it consumes you, it gets to the point that it dominates your life. And if how you interact with other people is determined by your fishing success or failure, it's something that is definitely misplaced at that point. So you gotta stay grounded for sure.
Totally understand it. Drew, I appreciate the time. I wish you the best of luck. And where are you thinking about positioning? Maybe do you ever think about, like, I'm gonna try and be top 10 or top 5? I'm gonna be up there at the top, or do you just go into it and just hope for the best experience?
Man, I feel like the ultimate goal for any angler on any platform is the Angler of the Year of their respective trail.
Okay.
And that's always been my big focus for years, is I wanted to get to this platform and have the ability to chase that title, and finished up in second Angler of the Year last year. I'm in second to Wheeler now currently.
There you go.
So that's kind of the focus, is like, rack up top 10s, tee it up as many times as possible across the year, and hope that eventually it's enough, because that Angler of the Year title is like my hyper fixation right now.
Gotcha. Drew Gill has been our guest. Drew, continue what you're doing, because it's working. I wish you the best of luck, and enjoy the event while you can, man.
I will.
All right. We'll take it to break off of that, live from the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo. This is 97.7 ESPN The Zone on WZZN TV.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence.
Union Grove,
and when Stan
Huntsville,
McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beans likes to say, there is no doubt about it.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deals store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Installation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 21st at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belt, but a full year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I screw up sometimes, silly.
Okay, almost everything.
Come on, pal. Tell your fortune.
Log on today. 977ESPN.com. 977 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello and welcome back in to the show here at the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo presented by the MLF. We still don't have a name for today's show, but it's totally fine. It's just a combination of the Blitz because I'm here. It's a combination of the Talking Ball because you're here. It's during Tom Abraham's spot, which is 12-2.
And the port operator for the drive.
And then we got Brian from the drive.
It's a smorgasbord of people today.
There's a lot going on, and it's going to be like that for the next 2 hours or an hour and a half.
Time flies when you're having fun, John.
It really does. It really
so
does.
We've got an hour and a half left, and we're going to be joined now by one of my favorite people in the media business. He is live from San Antonio, Texas. He will be covering the Final Four tonight for Fox Sports Radio. He's one of the best college basketball voices and really collegiate voices there is in the business today. But I love it when to talk hoops with him. And he actually lives on the West Coast, so it's harder to get him on talking ball way early in the morning. But luckily, we're having a special show going in right into the Final Four, our Final Four coverage that we will have via Westwood One on ESPN 97.7 The Zone. And it's, of course, he's the author of One in Fun, which was the John Calipari's tenure, the 15 years in Lexington, Kentucky, and especially that 2012 national championship, led by the great Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. He also has the Aaron Torres podcast, which you can hear. I mean, the guy hardly ever takes a vacation. You can hear it just about every day. He keeps up with the sport better than anyone, and he's been kind enough to join us for a few minutes and talk Final Four and the transfer portal, and that is Aaron Torres. Aaron, you're with Drew and John. How are you?
I'm well. I don't know if we have time to do the rest of the segment after that incredible intro that you gave me. I genuinely appreciate it. And two, the only thing I would correct you on, Drew, is I know you're on early in the mornings, but when Drew DeArmond calls, Aaron Torres picks up. So anytime you need me, we can focus on today right now, but anytime you need me, I'm only a phone call away.
And he does. I'll give Aaron credit. He's come on at 6:30 his time many times late in our show, but I will give him credit. But I know that, and he's been very kind to us. But it's been a while since we've had him on, and this is a historic Final Four, so I'm glad to have you. But just, I guess, your initial thoughts on the second time ever to have since 2008 to have 4 1 seeds. These are the cream of the crop. The SEC has been the best league in the country, but Duke looks like the best team. What are your thoughts on these matchups tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, so I'm not somebody. Listen, I love a good upset as much as anybody, but we all, Drew. I know you cover Bama and Auburn. When we spend as much time, engaging in college basketball throughout the season that we do, like, I love a good upset, but the teams that I've watched since November be great, I want to see be great in March. And so, I remember watching Auburn and Houston the first week of November, second or third game of the season. And it's like, I'm glad that both these teams are back on the stage. Same with Duke and Florida. So, we can get into the individual matchups, but I think the thing to me, all 4 great teams. The other thing that being around the teams this week stood out to me, they, sometimes you get to a Final Four and you can kind of tell it's just the teams are just happy to be there. That's not the case with these two teams. I always use the example. I was the year Oklahoma went to the Final Four with Buddy Hield. I was in the locker room after the Elite Eight win. And, all the players, we're going to a Final Four. We're going to a Final Four. We're going to a Final Four. And then they got there and they got smoked by Villanova. And so I just bring it up because I think all 4 teams are happy to be here, but I don't think all 4 teams are satisfied just by getting here. They want those 2 more wins. And I think 4 best teams in the country, I think we're going to get competitive games tonight. I think we're getting two really good games, and I think we're getting a great game on Monday night as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And the one that we want to look at, of course, first is going to be that Auburn versus Florida matchup. Of course, two powerhouses in their own right. But, who do you see edging out in this one? Because obviously there's the Florida team that has all of this strength, all well-rounded. And then there's the Auburn team that's got a little bit of questions around, of course, Jonai Broom. But, I mean, what do you have? What info do you have over there?
Well, I think – it's what's interesting about Auburn. They've actually played all three teams in the Final Four. So,
right, crazy.
There's there's nothing that they're not going to see. But respectfully to the other teams, they're a little bit more familiar with Auburn as well. I just think a couple things stand out. One, I'll tell you this. I don't think that they want to make it bulletin board material, but I think that the Florida team. I was talking to some of the guys about the first matchup, and they felt like that maybe that first matchup, Auburn they were so hot and they were playing so well that Florida felt like maybe they were a little bit disrespected coming in, that maybe Auburn didn't take them seriously because of the success that they'd had. I don't think that's going to be an issue here in game two. I mean, obviously we know how good these two teams are. The one thing I will say, Bruce Pearl was doing a hell of a job of convincing everybody at the press conferences what a plucky little underdog they are as the number one overall seed in the tournament. He literally went through all the reasons that, why this team should be ranked higher than them. And so the only point I'm trying to make is that when I look at the situation, I do see a scenario where, in my opinion, it's a fun back and forth game. You asked me for a pick. I actually do like Auburn. It's not because I'm on in the state of Alabama right now. I think Auburn at its best was as good as anybody, especially early. And I think, all the players at Auburn said that nothing changed during that stretch where they lost 3 or 4. But I really feel like the second half of the Michigan game in the Sweet 16, they turned back into the team from the beginning of the season where everybody was operating at a high level. Everybody was elite. And you have 4 or 5 guys that can beat you. And so I'm going to take Auburn to win that first game because I really do think they're starting to play like that team that we saw in November, December, early January.
Yeah, and then Duke. As you know, Aaron, I cover Alabama so closely. I'm on Press Row a lot. I saw, and I didn't see the Duke game in person, but I did see it live. I only saw 2 teams that I thought were definitively better than Alabama all year. They split with Auburn. They should have won at Tennessee, let that get away, but no question in my mind that it was Duke and Florida that were better than Alabama. The amazing thing about Florida, though, is they won at Auburn without Elijah Martin, who, of course, as you know, is in his second Final Four. He was with that FAU team and then hand-locked as well. So they're going to have their entire 9 guys. I think it's going to be a heck of a game, though. I do think that Jonai is going to he's overcome injury all year to bring it. He'll bring it tonight. I think no question. I think the key, though, is the guy that I love, Tahad Pettiford, and then Denver Jones, my guy from the 256 from my area. If the guard play is good for Auburn, that's where they're going to have to match Walter Clayton Jr., who is my favorite guard in college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, Todd Pettiford is my favorite guard in college. I mean,
He's tremendous.
I mean, listen, nobody gets here if you don't have dudes and you don't have players. And so, I think, to me, at this point, you just can't. Part of the reason I like Auburn is you're never going to stop Walter Clayton. I mean, I looked it up yesterday, obviously previewing the game. I think it was 13 of the final 23 against UConn, those 2 big threes against Texas Tech. But Auburn is one of the few teams that can kind of go man for man on the boards with Florida. I believe they were the number 2 offensive rebounding team in the country behind Texas A&M. And, but Auburn is right there. And so that's why I like this matchup is not so much Clayton's going to get his, but I think when you have Cardwell, Broom, et cetera, they kind of neutralize as well as anybody can. Alex Condon, Handlockton's still kind of coming back from that injury. I wouldn't say he's 100%, but those guys, Chinyelu, et cetera. So that's really why I like him. I think Walter Clayton's going to get his. It's are you going to give up the second, third, fourth opportunities on the other end of the court? And I think Auburn is obviously going to do a good job of limiting that, or in theory, at least they should. On paper, coming into the game, it feels like they should be able to.
Aaron Torres from Fox Sports Radio is our guest here as we are live from the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo. And I love the support that you're giving for this Auburn team, because I feel like a lot of people are looking at them as
Historic.
more of
Best
the
team in history.
Yeah, and people are still looking at them like they're more of the weaker link in this final four. But there's also Duke, who seems inevitable. Talk a little bit about what that kryptonite might be for the Blue Devils, as it just looks like there is always something that they can get you with.
Yeah, I think what's crazy to me about Duke is that when you have these star freshmen, the assumption is the offensive skill is what takes over, and you kind of got to, how do you coach young guys to play defense? Listen, I hate to say it, Alabama fans know anybody better than anybody how great that team is defensively. And so that's what really stands out is you think, 3 lottery picks, they must put up 90 points a game, and they basically do, but they're also one of the best defensive teams as well. And so that to me is probably where the challenge is for Houston is unlike any defense in college basketball. I think the stat is something crazy, like they're holding teams to like 15 points below their average or something ridiculous like that in the NCAA tournament. But the counter to that is, how are they going to be able to score against this Duke team with the size and the length that they have? So, listen, none of these teams is incapable, but I think to your guys' point, Duke really is that good. I don't know that Duke has a huge weakness. And I just give John Shire a ton of credit because, and I asked him about it this week, is that everyone focuses on the freshmen and then they backfilled in the portal. But I look at the size that they have of 6'9", 6'11". Their wings are 6'7", 6'8". Their guards are 6'6", 6'7". And I don't know how you score against them. And Houston does a better job than anybody, literally, at stopping you from scoring. But how, conversely, if you are Houston, do you score enough against that great Duke defense?
Yeah, and then what I love about Flag and Malawach and even Con Knipple is, a lot of times you make a great point about the offensive skill, but these dudes bought in and they play hard on both ends. I mean, I thought Alabama did a really good job defending Cooper Flag, but what's not being said is how good a job defensively Flag did against Alabama. Malawach, I thought going into the game, Aaron, that Alabama's best player in the tournament, nobody would have thought that the first 3 rounds, but was Cliff Amori. He was the most consistent. He was finishing around the rim. He was rebounding. He was being physical. And Malawach just sort of took him out of the game. And I thought that was huge, where Alabama didn't have that physical presence around the rim. And then Malawach cut off Mark Sears. He cut off the guards. And Flag the same way. Flag runs the floor hard. He had several block shots where if he had just coasted and been frustrated because his shot wasn't dropping, that could have been a problem. But Cooper Flag plays both ends. He competes. And you're right. That team is just huge and so good defensively. I like him over Houston, and I love Kelvin Sampson and their culture. And his team this year is better offensively. They can really shoot the ball, but they're not the biggest team though. And Duke is huge. I think it's going to be a very competitive game, but I just like Duke in this matchup.
No, I do too. And it's so funny, Drew. You and I have always vibed and seen the sport of basketball and football, but we're talking obviously basketball. We've seen it the same way. I just think Malawach is the unsung hero on that team. Is that Flag is the star, and so many of the older guys are getting credit for sacrificing in roles, and Mason Gillis transfers from Purdue, and this is his second Final Four. It's like all Malawach does is be 7'2" and basically impossible to score on in and around the rim. So I think he is the unsung. If they go on to win this thing, and even if they don't, if we just look at them at the end of the year as a Final Four team, I still think he's the unsung guy. I'm not much of an NBA draft guy, draft guru, or anything like that, but I don't know how he. I don't know how he's not a top 5 pick based on what he can be. And yeah, he's to me, I think actually an underrated X factor. I guess the point I'm just trying to say, Drew, is I agree with you 100% on that.
And then Aaron, before we let you go, last couple of minutes, I know you cover the portal as well as anyone. I watch your episodes all the time. What's the biggest story transfer portal-wise for you so far? There was even some big-time news for Michigan earlier today as well. But what are you following? What's caught your eye the most?
Well, I think the thing that's caught my eye is what's caught everybody's eye is just how fast it's moving. I think if you're a college sports fan, you kind of understand. What is it, Drew? Is it April 9th, whatever the day is?
10th.
When
the 10th, when the dead period.
The 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, but the house settlement comes in this
Oh,
week.
the house settlement. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
And and I said that's basically where that's basically where the NCAA in theory can start putting limitations on NIL, and I think that's going to be tough for the NCAA, like everything is for them. But I just bring it up because everyone is moving so fast. I mean, the Yaxel Lendenberg kid who you mentioned, who you guys know, UAB. He entered the portal on Monday, is committed by Saturday morning. Donovan Dent last week entered the portal, commits 2 days later. And so it's just moving a million miles an hour. I'll be curious because the portal always moves fast, but it is moving exponentially faster this year for that reason. But what I'll also say that I think is interesting as well is I think there's going to be a lot of teams that still need players after April 9th when the house settlement happens. And, the portal's starting to dry up. But I think we're going to get another wave of guys because the one thing that I've learned about college basketball is whether it's, Kentucky still needs 3 or 4 guys. Indiana needs a full roster. Auburn's going to need a lot of guys. I know they added Keyshawn Hall, but they're going to need a lot of guys. These great teams and these great programs, they're not going to go into next year underhanded. And they're not just going to throw up their arms and say, well, I guess we'll wait till 2027. No, they're trying to win next year. And so I just bring it up because right now it feels like the number of quality players is limiting. But I think next week what we'll start to see is, I know Alabama just had a bunch of players announce they're coming back, but I think this coming week we'll start to see guys declare. I think we'll see guys declare and enter the portal. And I think we're going to get another wave of guys after the NCAA tournament is done because I just there's too many spots that need to be filled at big time places where I just can't see. There's just not enough good players currently in the portal. So that's the big thing that stands out is how quickly it's moving and how quickly, how quickly guys are coming off the board, but also how quickly new guys are going in. And like I said, from there, I think it's going to make for an interesting couple weeks. I know it feels like it's moving fast, and it's because it is, but I only bring it up to say I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon, even though it feels like it might be.
No doubt about that. Aaron, we appreciate your time, man.
Yep.
And, of course, there is a lot of stuff going on. Where could people go to get your work on socials and online to keep up with all the madness?
Yeah, just go to the Aaron Torres podcast. Aaron Torres podcast on Apple or YouTube, Spotify as well. Drew knows where to send them. Aaron_Torres on Twitter. Yeah, guys, I appreciate you. I got to save as much of my voice as I can for my show tonight. So I'm going to roll. I've lost some money at the bars, and I lost my voice somewhere on the Riverwalk as well last night. So I'm going to go, guys. I appreciate you. And,
yes, sir.
Drew, you know this, and it goes for anybody listening. Anytime you guys need me, just holler, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Aaron. Enjoy the Final Four, sir.
Great.
That is Aaron Torres. We need to take a break and wrap up our first hour here at this great Red Crest Major League Fishing Expo. Come and see us. Come by. We've already given away some more gear.
Oh, yeah.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. Ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
We are your home for March Madness.
Dr. Shot fake, step aside, 3 in the air again. Oh my goodness gracious. He knocked another one down. Tyrese Proctor cannot miss.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Do you know this one? It's the Macarena, I think.
Is it?
This is no Macarena. Come on. This is an old like. This reminds me of a Miami Vice episode.
It really does. Like,
come on.
97.7 ESPN The Zone live here at the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo, presented by the MLF as well as Miller Tech. The crowd's still rolling in, and you could be a part of it. If you're not up to your steps or anything like that, walk on down to the VBC, come in. You'll see us as soon as you do. Well, to the right, you can pick up a sticker, pick up the last little cup that we got here for you, and then just enjoy the festivities because
head in there.
Yeah, it is free for you to come on in here, and I think this is huge. I love the what they did with the venue. They got the logo over on the elevators. I mean, they went all in with presenting this.
This is first class here, man.
No doubt about that. So come on by and get yourself a little bit of what this place has to offer. But we have had a lot of fun so far in the show. It's already felt like a few hours, but it's flown by. And we talked with Drew Gill, one of the anglers in the MLF. He's 22. He's got 3 wins under his belt. He's
the hottest angler on the sport, from what they tell me in Major League Fishing, man.
Yeah, he just won his last event.
I heard him talking like he's worked his way up. Like it was like high school fishing, college, and then now rolling with the pros, man.
Yeah, and then later on in the show, we'll be talking with Skeet Reese, who is also, I mean, it's the complete opposite. This guy's a veteran. He is a dude that was in the Bassmaster Classic. He's won the Bassmaster. On top of that,
Wow.
He was one of the fishermen.
So he's an
of
OG.
the
is
year.
what you're
No,
telling me.
this guy is. He's got a little bit of stuff, I would say, that he's carrying on into this event and into the Lake Gunnersville event that's going to be happening. That's already actually going on. But outside of that, we've also talked with some guests about a little bit of the March Madness, of course, that you're able to listen to and you have been listening to all March Madness long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, but just got done with a great conversation with Aaron Torres from Fox Sports Radio, talking a little bit more about the Final Four that begins tonight.
Yeah, and we're really looking forward to it. These are two epic matchups. As we said, first time since 2008. And, of course, we know in overtime Kansas beat Memphis that year.
Yeah.
But this is 4 number 1 seeds, and these are cream of the crop. Auburn's really been number 1 for the majority of the season. Bruce Pearl's team's been tremendous. They won the regular season SEC championship in the toughest league in the country. They lost in the semifinals of the SEC tournament, but the winner of said tournament was another Final Four team, which is the Florida Gators. They're going to face off against each other, and they will be the second chapter. We talked with Aaron Torres about the game in Neville Arena, which was won 90-81 by the Florida Gators. But Florida now will have Elijah Martin back. They will also have Hanlockton back, so we'll see. But Auburn, they're a tough, gritty group. Jonah Broom will get his best tonight. I know that. We'll see if they can get the best from Denver Jones to Hodge Bedford. It's a 2.5-point spread for Florida, which means basically it's a toss-up. Duke favored by 5.5. We could have a rematch of that Cameron Indoor Stadium epic battle, won by 6 by Duke, if the Blue Devils and the Auburn Tigers can win tonight.
A lot more conversation to come in the second hour, but we got Skeet Reese coming up. Talked a little bit of the MLF as well as Lake Gunnersville here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Bass Pro Shop's Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Pond Bronze Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Gunnersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shop's Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Installation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 21st at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belts, but a full year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Sports Center. I'm Sean Ryder. Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard are heading to the Basketball Hall of Fame, part of the class of 2025, which also includes Coach Billy Donovan and WNBA legends Sue Bird, Maya Moore, and Sylvia Fowles. It's the men's Final Four tonight in San Antonio, all one seeds. First matchup of the night features Auburn against Florida, with two coaches very familiar with each other. Gators head coach Todd Golden was an assistant for Bruce Pearl for 3 years at Auburn. Golden praises Pearl.
I know he's incredibly proud of me. I'm incredibly grateful for him and his family and the opportunities that they provided for me. I would not be here, if I didn't have my relationship and experience, working with and being around Bruce and his son, Steven. And it's a little bit of a full circle moment, I'm sure for both of us. And, when the ball goes up on Saturday, it's going to be pretty cutthroat. But, until then, there'll be a lot of love shown. And, again, a surreal moment for sure.
Florida head coach Todd Golden. In the other semifinal, it's Duke versus Houston. The Cougars with the best defense in the nation. Duke has the best offense. Will be UConn versus South Carolina for the Women's National Championship tomorrow and on ABC and ESPN TV at 3 p.m. Eastern. South Carolina seeking their fourth national title. Huskies are currently a 6.5-point favorite on ESPN Bet. One game in baseball right now. They're in the third in Detroit. The Tigers lead the White Sox 5-1. Kerry Carpenter with a 2-run homer. And the NHL, and on ABC, the Devils have a 2-0 lead on the Rangers in the second period in New Jersey.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. And coming up on Monday, we'll have a new champion in women's college basketball, and we'll get ready to crown one on the men's side. That's Monday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Scott and not Drew. It's totally different. It's John and Skeet, and we're going to be talking a little bit of what's coming up as we are live here from the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo. Of course, Major League Fishing putting on a great little event here at BBC, and this place is packed out. And Skeet, this is the type of event you get to see the fans, face to face. You get to show off your brand as well. Just talk about what it all kind of means to you.
Well, I think it's what the fun part about this is that obviously we have a huge fan base out there for the love of the sport of bass fishing, and so this is one event that people actually get to come and be around their heroes or whoever their favorite player, their favorite athlete, their favorite angler, what it might be. And so for us to be able to interact with the fans here and sign autographs, I don't know how many autographs I've signed today, but it's a lot. So that's what's fun is you be able to have that interaction with the fan base here, and they get to go around, they get to see all the product, and they get to talk stories. And I've seen a lot of fish pictures today. Everybody's like, "Oh, I got this one last week," and then so everybody's got something. But I'm looking around, I see all the people. I mean, there's lots of rods. People are carrying buckets for Bass Pro Shops. There's stuff and fishing poles and tackle bags, and so it's what's fun is it's a like-minded group.
Exactly.
I mean, with our fishing industry, I mean, we're all here because we love being outdoors. We love fishing, and whether it's I know turkey hunting this time of year, people start getting all crazy for it, but but now it's a place for us all to come together and the industry, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's something about, of course, hunting in the woods and just getting outdoors, maybe hiking or going to a national park and all of that, but there's a different thing about being on the water, just literally standing on those bass boats and just feeling like you are standing on the water. Talk about kind of how your experience with that is. Just a majority of what you're looking at it just goes through your mind now. Is it still as special as the first time that you ever got on the bass boat?
It is. I mean, there's something, and this is, through therapy, I've learned that fishing, being on the water is like a form of therapy, because it's a disconnect from society. It's the phones, it's the computers and the television at home. So we're out there, and it's just, you're on the water. I mean, doesn't matter if it's a river, a pond, a lake, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Your sunrise, sunset, it's spectacular. But then, just being able to be out there making that cast and having that challenge of trying to catch that fish. And people love fishing. They like being out there fishing. I hate fishing. I like catching.
There you go.
Catching is fun, because that's why I'm out there. I mean, because when I feel that little doink or whatever on the end of the line, that's that adrenaline rush that goes from my brain or my fingertip to my brain. I'm like, here we go. And you don't know if it's a little one or a big one, but that's that fun part, being on the water. I've been fortunate to be able to do this for a living as long as I have. I think 27, 28 years now, chasing fish around the country.
Yeah, and you talk about your experience. You talk about the fans as well throughout your career. Talk about how the sport has grown, because it's, I think, bigger than ever now.
Without a doubt, it is. It's obviously, I'm dating myself now, because going back a couple of decades of this, almost 3 decades. So before, I guess we had internet, some of it back then, but no social media and all that.
It was MySpace, and it needed to upgrade at that point.
It's had some upgrades since then. But I remember when I was in school, and I, like 5th grade, I went to show and tell. I brought a tackle box. I had my hip waders on, my fishing vest. I had my little fishing hat on. And people are like, "You're weird." And then I get to high school. I was like the only kid at high school that knew anything about fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have like 10,000 high school students fishing in high school fishing teams around the country. We have college programs. There's full ride college programs, scholarships for guys in college programs. So it's trickled down and it's became mainstream now for people, young kids who's like, yeah, I want to be a professional bass fisherman.
No.
It's making it more challenging. You got to be better now. I mean, I think if I had to come up in today's age to compete against these kids, oh, I would have got kicked to the curb a long time ago. But so fortunately, I came through at a good time. But yeah, there's so many more people that know about competitive bass fishing now.
Yeah, definitely is. That is the truth. But I look at it, and I've gotten to talk to a few of the anglers. I've gotten to see some in Bassmaster as well as in the MLF, and you've gotten to experience both of these leagues. Can you talk a little bit about how they differ and what both of them kind of do better than the other, or what they both do to grow the sport a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I give props to Ray Scott, who started Bassmaster. Our sport we wouldn't have this sport if it wasn't for Ray Scott starting Bass. And so I fished over on the Bassmaster tour for 20 some odd years, a couple years. And
it's all right. People look at you more as a legend than an old guy.
See, that's when they say legend. They mean you're old. That's what they're saying.
It's
so.
better than not. Let me tell you. I'm looking forward to being a legend myself. So,
well, we're all legends in our own minds.
Exactly.
But so I think the biggest difference is what when we created Major League Fishing is we wanted to create a product that was more compelling for television, for streaming, to viewership, because watching a 5-fish format on television can get kind of slow. So how do we ramp it up? And that's where the difference is from, I'd say for Major League Fishing right now is that this Bass Pro Tour format is that every fish counts towards your total score, as long as it meets a minimum required weight. So here on Lake Guntersville this week, it's a 2-pound minimum. So how do I put this? So when you fish a 5-fish limit format, which is what most people are common and used to, you can actually hide behind some weaknesses pretty easily there.
Okay.
Because I've had a lot of tournaments and I've had a lot of success in my career where I only got 5 bites all day long. As I barely got out of this one because I wasn't on a very good pattern. I wasn't on the best bite. And even though I had a good finish, I was like, I scraped that one out. So with a Bass Pro Tour format, what we're doing here, there's no hiding. If you're not catching them, you're down the list.
People know about it.
The people know. There's how my standings were this week. I was down the list. I was not on the right bite. So I think that's the difference. And when guys are catching them, it's not just catching. People think on our format here, well, they're fishing for smaller fish. When you're on the best bite, you're catching a 7-pounder, you're catching a 4-pounder, a 1-pounder, a 3-pounder, another 7-pounder. You catch them all when you have the best bite figured out. And so a lot of people, well, you fish for 5 fish. And I disagree that you can fish for 5 fish, because if you're fishing for 5 fish and you catch 5 fish, if you're catching 25 fish, you're increasing your odds of catching more big fish. So that's the difference. So, Bass has a great program over there. They have no restrictions as far as the forward-facing sonar. We can get in this whole.
It'll take us a minute.
Yeah, that we don't have a long enough segment for this. And then, but then this, with the Bass Pro Tour here, we'll go. So we got one period, 2.5 hours, where guys can use their forward-facing sonar, and then, another 5 hours without it. And so just kind of balancing it out right now. So it's kind of fun right now because it's given both sides of the spectrum a chance, and there, it's the little head-to-head competition.
Exactly, and that type of thing helps grow the sport even more. I mean, you need to have that competition. It's just steel strengthening steel. But Skeet Reese is our guest right now, and of course, a very accoladed guest. That one of the more accoladed guests that we have here in the location that you can come by and meet. You can also get a signature if you want. Could just come on by the VBC. The Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo is going on, and it's free admission. So you can save your money for everything else that you're going to buy inside of the doors, including what you got at reesfishing.com. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is exciting for me. So I've been in the process of launching my own brand of Reese Fishing products for the last couple of years. And I've been designing rods and products for other companies for almost 30 years now. And I finally said, well, why have I done it for everybody else and not myself? So I started my own brand, Reese Fishing. And this is actually the only second time we've actually been in a public setting with a booth and, for people to actually experience and get their hands on the product first time. And the great thing is when people grab a Reese fishing rod now, they know how much time and energy and effort I put into it because they're like, that's the best feeling thing I've ever felt as far as a rod. So, and we're doing show specials, like a Next 2, which is like my pride and joy, was normally $249 online, and they're $199 here. And then I got Next 1 series of rods that are normally $139 or $99 here. And we got some jerseys and swag, and we're giving away hats. We got raffles going on the booth. So if you guys come on down, come to the show, come check out all the cool product. And you come by the booth and get a chance to be in the drawing. And we're giving away rods, reels, casting reels, and trinkets, trash, all that good stuff, whatever you want to call it, swag.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be coming by because after this, that's when I get the full experience of just walking around, getting to see all of this this awesome swag that you speak of. But I feel like I cannot let you go without talking a little bit about your experiences with Lake Guntersville. Of course, you're a California dude, all right? This is a totally different type of fishing, I feel like. I don't know. I haven't even been to California myself. Tell us a little bit about, where you come from, what that fishing was like compared to what you get a little bit more of in the Southeast.
So growing up in Northern California, Clear Lake and California Delta are like my two favorite fisheries, and they're shallow water power fisheries. So a lot of vegetation, there's docks, typically not fishing deeper than 10 foot of water most of the time. So when I started coming out here especially on Lake Guntersville, it felt like fishing Clear Lake to me. There's docks and there's grass. And I'm like, hey, this is my, I got this. This is right now. I got that. I got these skills. And Guntersville has been very good to me in the past. I think I've got 2 tour wins here. I think a couple of second place finishes, and overall top 10 finish has been well to me. So coming into this week, I was like, my expectations are always a little higher because I know this is the lake that fits my style of fishing.
Exactly,
and so to not go and perform and catch what I wanted to catch, there's obviously a little bit of a letdown, but it is such a, I think there's certain lakes that I go to across the country that, jive. And I'm like, it fits my niche, my style. Most anglers have their own kind of style and how they prefer to go out and catch fish. And Lake Guntersville's been that way. And these guys are, and I'm watching, I'm like, well, they're not doing anything fancy. That's what I was doing.
There's always the give or take.
But I was just in the wrong areas. That's what it was. Because I could do that. That's what I was doing. And but it's a great fishery. It gets a lot of fish and pressure, but it has a lot of fish in it.
Exactly. Okay. Skeet Reese has been our guest. Skeet, I appreciate your time.
Sure.
I know you like the sitting, but also you like the mingling with the fans, getting to talk with them, getting to also get them over to your booth. So I appreciate your time. It was great meeting with you.
My pleasure. Yeah, check out reesefishing.com and come by the Reese Fishing booth.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. You have a wonderful rest of your day and good luck.
Every day is a good day. Thank you.
That's exactly the truth. Good stuff right there from Skeet Reese. And we're going to hop into a break. But again, if you're not down here, you kind of got to get down here. Free admission here at the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo, presented by the MLF as well as Miller Tech. But we'll take it to break, and we'll be right back here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
The Bass Pro Shop's Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Pond Bronze Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Guntersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shop's Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
Buckhorn Youth Sports was created in 2018 to provide kids in our community the ability to compete at every sport possible. We offer football, flag and tackle, cheer, volleyball, wrestling, basketball, baseball, and softball. You can find us on Facebook at Buckhorn Youth Sports, where we prepare the future. Buckhorn Youth Sports is a proud supporter of Buckhorn High School football. Go Bucks!
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I'm Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. Ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Insulation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 21st at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belt, but a full year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoon starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect.
You got meeting everybody here.
Yeah.
At the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo.
It's been a great mix of fishing and Final Four.
No doubt. It has been a perfect mix, Drew. And it's going to continue on that way. I just got to talk with Rocky Drake, who does a wonderful YouTube channel, which definitely going to take a look at a little bit more after this. But regardless, come on by. Doors are still wide open for you to get on in here. And maybe the parking has opened up a little bit. Drew, you think?
Doubtful. I mean, I'll be honest. I've talked to several people here, John, and everybody is feeling the pinch of the parking.
No doubt about that. But
I think a lot of people had to get their exercise in. You and I certainly did. And but the hospitality here has been amazing.
Oh, it always is, and that's just because it's the Southeast. I mean, you can't get this type of venue really anywhere else.
Stuff.
And it fits perfectly here at the VBC. So come on by, see us, pick up some.
They're here till 6:30.
Some stuff. They are here till.
And we're here till a little after 2.
Yeah, I'll be walking around, Drew. I'm going to be checking out a lot of what they got going on.
I stuck my head inside. I'm gonna I'm gonna circle around.
Yeah, make your rounds.
It's pretty stunning, you know, how all the exhibits and stuff they got in here. You know, I had to stick my head in, you know, when I took a look when you were doing the interview there, and just to kind of get a feel for the place.
Yeah, well,
and wow.
Skeet, he has his own
Yeah.
company, and,
Oh,
and I'll be
right.
walking in there. Skeet reesfishing.com is
Gotcha.
where you find all of that, and you can get the reels that he's used throughout the years and all of his stuff that he's selling over there. But I'll be taking an in-depth look here in a moment. But Drew, everybody's feeling a little bit of this atmosphere. They're also still feeling the madness because we got some madness going on tonight.
Yeah, we do, and then we've got some history.
We do.
That was finalized yesterday. He's been on my show several times. I've known him for over a decade. I got to know him when he first brought his team to the Huntsville City Classic early in his career. He spent 12 seasons as the head coach of the Mountain Brook Spartans, won 5 state championships, turned them into one of the best programs, not just in Alabama, but in the country.
Yeah.
And now has spent the last 5 seasons in his native Birmingham. He played for Dwayne Reboll at Birmingham Southern. But he started his coaching odyssey, stayed in Birmingham, went to Samford University in the Southern Conference, and turned them in 5 years into a 3-time champion. Got to the NCAA tournament last year, nearly beating the Kansas Jayhawks in the round of 64. But, of course, we're talking about Bucky McMillan, and Bucky Ball
yes, sir.
is on the way to Aggie land, as he has landed a 5-year, $19 million contract to be the next head basketball. So the 22nd head basketball coach in the history of the Texas A&M Aggies. He will be taking over for Buzz Williams, coming to the Southeastern Conference. So what a meteoric rise for one of the best young coaches in all of basketball. And I hope he stays on the collegiate level, because certainly he was very, very good and enhanced the high school level. I worked for one of his, proteges, Christian Swears, who's done an amazing job at Huntsville High. But certainly Bucky McMillan has been ahead of his time. Bucky Ball is amazing to watch what he's done at Samford. They had not won in over about 15 years, and he got the campus excited. They became one of the best programs in the Southern Conference, one of the best mid-major programs in all of college basketball, and now he is stepping up to the absolute top level of the Power Four. So congratulations to Bucky and his family. He's always been very gracious to us here at 97.7 The Zone and to myself. And so just very happy for him and to see this next chapter and see how it unfolds. And certainly I'm still going to be rooting hard for my man Caleb Harrison, who redshirted there. We'll see what happens with Caleb and his career, who they hire at Samford, where this takes Caleb's career. But certainly he still had a very bright future in his own right. And Bucky McMillan, he's worked for this opportunity. And once they struck out with Chris Beard, they went to Bucky McMillan. So
there you go.
Bucky was very close last year, I think, being one of these Power Four gigs in the SEC. And so timing is everything. And Bucky getting a chance to compete at the highest level of college basketball.
Yeah, he was 99-52 throughout his time at Samford. It was the highest percentage of winning for a Samford head coach in the program history. And now, heading to the SEC, he's going to be making a lot more money. He's also going to be making a lot more decisions, because whenever you go to the SEC, things just get that much more busy. But he's finally leaving Alabama, because he's throughout his career.
Birmingham.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
been a fixture.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like the unofficial mayor of Birmingham. Okay,
He really has been.
He's a legend there. What he did as a high school coach, what he built Mountain Brook into. What he did at Samford to take Bucky Ball and translate it, and now going to Aggie land, it's crazy.
Yeah,
and
some people
he is, but you knew he was going to continue to grow, and this is the next step of growth for Bucky McMillan. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, and some people still don't fully understand what Bucky Ball truly is. And I saw the people in the comments whenever they got the post, like they were throwing around these different things. Some people don't know him. Some people know him and think this is a great hire, but Drew, what is Bucky Ball for the people that don't fully understand it?
High tempo, high energy, everybody. The thing about Bucky Ball that amazed me when I saw him coach, I've never seen someone substitute so quickly and so liberally. And then to have all his players buy in, bench energy off the charts, create a role for everyone, get everybody to understand that role, to buy in. The buy-in is so big. And I mean, his communication skills are next level. It's why he was able to do what he's done. I've never really seen a team play as hard as his did at Mountain Brook. Now I've got a chance to witness it at Huntsville High. It's an amazing thing to see. But just and to develop players the way he did, whether it be a role player or an NBA player like a Trendon Watford, who's now with the Portland Trailblazers, or a Colby Jones, who's now, of course, in the NBA, played at Xavier. But he did an amazing job of building programs and getting people to row the boat. And he carried a lot of people with him from Mountain Brook to Samford, so that'll be interesting. A lot of those folks will probably go with him to Texas A&M. He's just a great guy to work for. He understands the game. He's just always kind of been a wonderkind and a guy that was ahead of his time is the best way to just say it. Just his style of coaching, his style of play, did an amazing job during his coaching journey. And I'm going to be very anxious to see how he does competing in the SEC. And of course, he's going to have to completely rebuild this roster in the NIL transfer portal era, John. But Buzz Williams had Texas A&M in the top half of the league. We'll see if Bucky can keep them there.
Oh, I mean, he was able to challenge Kansas last season.
And
no
doubt, man.
That was something.
Should have won.
He honestly, it was a late comeback. He got it close. And if you're able to do that with a program like Samford that doesn't have the same amount of talent coming in, then, I mean, you should be able to get it done with an SEC level Texas A&M Aggie squad. But definitely it's a lot of fun to see it happen. It's great to see it happen to such a good guy from the Birmingham area that we've been following for quite some time now, that you've known personally for quite some time. But the craziest part about it is just how young he is. He's only 41. He's going to be the second youngest coach now behind Todd Golding. He
looks like he's 32.
So people were posting pictures of like, oh, he's a baby, all of this stuff. He is very young for a college coach, especially at the SEC level. But we need to hop into a break, because when we come back, we'll be continuing on with the March Madness conversation, as well as talking a little bit more of what Buckyball truly is compared to Buzzball, which I'll say that here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are home for a total of 15 games in the month of April. Promotions include 4 fireworks shows, 2 bobblehead giveaways, 1 cat night, and even an appearance from Bluey to round out the month on April 27th. To get your tickets and learn more about everything going on at Toyota Field, check out TrashPandasBaseball.com.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
It's it back to Ruffin. That's good. From Huntsville. Has tied it up. 6 men on the ice. Right puck into the net.
With the Havoc Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
It's a very fitting song for this special edition of 97.7 ESPN The Zone here at Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo. Still don't know what they exactly call the show, but regardless of that, we'll figure that out down the road. But there's a lot more to look forward to today and throughout the weekend. Is, of course, you're going to have the Final Four going down starting tonight. It's going to be wrapping up on Monday. You're going to be able to listen to that on this station. And on top of that, Alabama-Auburn baseball, and then Trash Pandas over on Talk Radio WZZN.
I would just call this the 97.7 The Zone Final Four preview extravaganza.
Live from Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo. It's just the longest name ever. It could be
there
the
you go.
longest name ever.
That's a way to finish that, John.
But regardless,
that was perfect.
There is the Final Four. But it doesn't, at this point, Drew, even if you get knocked out, the season's never truly over.
It's not, and there's roster building going on, and especially at the University of Alabama, we've had breaking news as we got on the show, which is always great when you're bringing on a great guest like we're about to. He's an assistant basketball coach at Brooks High School in Killen, Alabama, but he's also the lead recruiting basketball analyst and really basketball, guru on Tide Illustrated, along with Jack Knowlton. He does a great job with working with Jack and Tony Sukalis. He does a great job of monitoring the transfer portal and Alabama basketball recruiting for Tide Illustrated, part of the Rivals Network, and that is Jordan Harper. And he's been kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline this morning. Jordan, man, it's great to reconnect with you. I hope you're doing well. You're with Drew and John Abraham right now. How you doing this morning? Or I guess afternoon now.
Yeah, afternoon now. Day's kind of flown by, but I'm doing great. Appreciate both of y'all having me on.
Yeah, and since I texted you this morning, there's been a lot of news for Alabama. You could say they've got 9 pieces of the 13 now declared in place. Negotiations are ongoing with the last 3 pieces that have not declared their intentions: Jaron Stevenson, Darion Reed, and, of course, the biggest piece, in my opinion, LeBaron Philon, certainly. But we've seen a couple of departures. Nas Cunningham, surprise there, and then a mild surprise in Mohamed Diobate. But your thoughts on the roster build so far for Alabama, including the 2 additions that we've seen from the transfer portal in the last few days?
Yeah, so everything's always very fluid with the transfer portal, and I mean, there's been a lot of commitments overall. There's still a lot of entries, so really over 90% of the transfer portal is still in the portal. So there's going to be a lot of movement in the, it's dead week now, but once it gets to next weekend, I think you'll see a lot more movement overall. But for Alabama, it's, losing Mo Diabate, he's one of the fan favorites, always seemed to win the hard hat more times than not during the season, always played really hard. But I don't think this was more of a Nate Oates and staff pushing him out by any means. They love the guy. I think it's Mo really trying to just see what else is out there, and see if he can get more, starter minutes, get a bigger role per se. Because in Alabama system, he's very limited offensively, and he's not a good enough ball handler to play the Herb Jones role that he played and thrived in so well. So, losing him stinks from a fan's perspective, but I think that they could replace his spot with someone that's more offensively inclined and not lose too much on defense. And then losing Nas Cunningham, obviously redshirted this past year, really talented prospect, but I just didn't see a fit for him. It would have probably taken more time than what he would have wanted to really break the rotation. So obviously one decent loss, one that really doesn't impact a whole lot of next year's roster. But the two incoming portal additions that they recently had could make a very big impact next season.
Yeah, and we'll slowly but surely get into that conversation. But I was always intrigued with Mo. I think that he was a really big player for Alabama, and he might not have fit in all the time with the way that this offense rocks and rolls. But what would be a place that he might be in? Is it going to stay in the SEC, or could we see him possibly outside in a different conference?
I really don't think he'll stay in the SEC. I know I saw a report that Kentucky's probably going to be interested, which they've been interested in pretty much everyone, so that's not a big surprise. But yeah, and I could see him going more towards back home, maybe to a St. John type of system back in New York, because Rick Pitino has no problems getting guys that are hard-nosed defensively that can't shoot. And, they had a great season this past year. So, I mean, he would fit in great there, but I think he'll probably try to go to more of a system that's more inclined to what he's comfortable doing, and that he can get the minutes that he needs. And I think he'll make the right decision there. But the St. John's type of system is something that I think he'll probably be looking for.
Well, we're talking to Jordan Harper, Tide Illustrated, talking some Alabama basketball. And now let's get into the two they've added, Noah Williamson, Bucknell. He was basically waiting on the plane, Jordan, as he was already on campus after they were eliminated in the regional finals over at Newark, New Jersey by the Duke Blue Devils. He looks like, to me, a really good replacement for Grant Nelson. Maybe not the Nelson mobility per se, but he is a true stretch five. He does block shots. He's 7 foot, 250 pounds. He does have some mobility to him, but I thought it was a really nice addition. And then yesterday, I know they really wanted Tyler Bowen quite a bit. Really an interesting defender, a guy that can block shots, average nearly 2 blocks a game. 41% three-point shooter as a stretch four as well. But talk about those two and the fit for Alabama.
Yeah, personally, I think the Bowen addition is more of a Grant Nelson replacement, just because he'll play the four primarily. If they want to go big ball, like a bigger lineup, he could even slip down to the three, because where he makes his hay is that he is a versatile defender. He can guard the perimeter, he can guard inside and be a rim protector. He can guard really 1 through 5. I've seen him take on guards and really stay in front, force them the way he wants them to go, and then protect the rim as they get downhill. So I really think he'll probably be more of a Grant Nelson replacement, and Noah Williamson will be, in a lesser regard, a Cliff Amore replacement, because he's going to play primarily the 5. I think it'll be a battle between him and Aiden Sherrill starting at the 5 next year. I'd probably give Sherrill, who announced he's returning today, he'll probably get the edge for me to be the starting 5, just because he's already been in the system a year, and I think he has the most potential. But Williamson, being the Patriot League Conference Player of the Year, averaging 18 points, 8 rebounds, he's had a lot of big games throughout the year. Also disappeared in a lot of games against lower competition, which is kind of unsettling in regard if you're going to depend on him for big minutes. But I think he's a great fit for the 5. He is a great fit just because he can step out and shoot it. He's shown that he can even handle it a little bit on the perimeter. And he's a willing passer. He had, I believe, a 13% assist rate when he had the ball, which is really, really good for a big man. So I look for Bowen to play the 3, stretch 4, and then Williamson be the 5, and that adds a lot of needed length that was lost this past offseason in the front court.
And then I just really like the way he played down the stretch. I think you posted this on your X account. Aiden Sherrill could take a huge jump next year.
Oh, he absolutely can. I mean, people forget he's a freshman just by how big he is, but his mobility isn't the best right now. I think another season, off season in the workout conditioning program that Alabama has is going to do wonders for him. The main thing for him is just to stay healthy. He cannot afford to miss time in the off season. Get all those reps, get all the workouts, all the conditioning. I think he could probably lose about 15, 20 more pounds of fat and put on some muscle. And I think you could see a transformed Sherrell. And if he adds the mobility with his shot, I think his shot was kind of didn't reach potential, because you watch him shoot in warm-ups. He has a smooth stroke, man. And he struggled from the free throw line. I think he shot sub 30% from three. He's more than a capable shooter from out there. So the main thing for him is to stay healthy and make sure he gets a full off-season program in. And yeah, I mean, he has all the tools to take a huge leap his sophomore year and be a breakout player, because he was an NBA prospect coming out of high school.
Jordan Harper from Time Illustrated, and I want to know, because obviously at this time last year it was a similar course of events where there were still some spots open for this team to improve, but also there was the question for Mark Sears. That question's now gone. Who is the guy that's going to step up and be in that role that Mark Sears has been able to take over for the last 2 years?
Well, if he comes back, it's going to be what Drew said, the most important player that still has a decision looming. And it could be LeBaron Pylon if he did come back. Now, if he did not come back, it's got to be someone like Aiden Holloway or a Jaron Stevenson that's been in the system. Jaron's been in for going on 3 years now. You're going to have somebody like that step up. Typically in a Nate Oates system, it's a lead guard. Obviously, Brandon Miller was that guy when he was here, but he's a generational type talent coming out of high school. But it's got to be somebody that's a lead guard that's going to be able to take control of this offense and this system. That's going to have to be that vocal leader. Now, I wouldn't say that Mark was necessarily a outgoing vocal leader. I don't really think you had that in this past year's team. I felt like they just had a great camaraderie and really bought in to playing together. And you really didn't need that. But this year, you're going to have a lot of new guys. You're going to have a lot of underclassmen. And you're going to have somebody step up and be that leader. Hate to put it on LeBaron Pylon if he comes back being a sophomore, but he's obviously going to be the most talented player on the roster. And he's going to be leading the show as the point guard. So if he comes back, look for him to take that next step and build up on his leadership skills.
You're telling me there's pressure on these younger kids? I mean, come on. You've seen Duke, right?
You can't come into a team that has, 16 years like it did last year? I mean, you've got, obviously you've got a guy like Latrell Wrightsell that's coming back for, I believe, a 6th year. And this will be his 3rd year in the system as well. So I guess you could count him as somebody that could too, but he's just not a guy that's really outspoken either. A lot of quiet guys on the team. So you're going to have somebody step up and take that leadership role. It might be Trelly and it might be LeBaron, who knows, but it's got to be one of these lead guards, I feel like.
Well, and now we have 9 guys confirmed, and it's happening quickly. I know the house settlement happens on the 9th, but I'm still operating with the fact there'll be 13 guys. That means 4 spots left for Nate Oates. And you mentioned Jaron Stevenson, you mentioned LeBaron, you mentioned Darion Reed. Those are the 3 guys that haven't declared. I'm sure negotiations are ongoing. They'd like to bring those 3 back. We've heard of Rylan Griffin being in the mix as well, but we've also seen Jalil Bethea is going to visit after the dead period. We could see Jerron Pierre. We'll see from Jack State. But talk about the last few spots and what ideally would need to happen for Alabama. I think LeBaron Pylon is crucial to get him back. I think he could use another year of school and to cement himself maybe in the top half of the first round like Kyra Lewis did. And then Darion Reed would be great, but I know there's been a lot of smoke around him, since midseason. So your thoughts on those last 4 roster spots, Jordan?
Yeah, assuming that, everything goes according to plan and it ends up being 15 that'll obviously open up a different can of worms for the portal. Teams being able to take 2 extra guys, but so with the guys that are kind of waiting in limbo, LeBaron's decision is very huge because you have Aiden Holloway on the roster, you have Latrell Wrightsel announced he's coming back, so your backcourt, presumably is going to be full in the starting lineup right now, the way other players in the portal look at it. But with LeBaron, you don't know. If he doesn't come back, that opens up a huge amount of minutes on next year's team as a point guard or a combo guard. So a lot of guards in the portal will likely be waiting to see what LeBaron does. And I know it's got to put teams and programs and coaches, in the dark a little bit because players won't commit because they don't know what he's going to do. LeBaron doesn't know what he's going to do. So you see all these guys committing and you're like, well, I mean, we have to wait because nobody else will jump on board. So, LeBaron's going to be a huge decision because, if he doesn't come back, then I could see a guy like Jalil Bethea wanting to hop on board, but I think he'll make a decision sooner rather than later. But he's a guy that I'm really high on. Jalil is. He was probably one of my top 3 favorite prospects in last year's class. He was a projected NBA draft pick this year. Obviously, things went south when he lost his coach before the year at Miami, and that team was just absolutely horrendous. But he has so much potential. He's a great scoring guard. He's 6'5", got length. He's got defensive potential. You mentioned Jaron Pierre. Jacksonville State, I think he's going to be to whoever the highest bidder is type of player,
right?
Which I think would take Alabama likely out of it, even though I'm sure they've been in communications for a while, assuming that he was going to transfer. But, tampering's legal now apparently. But anyways, you have guys like those, like 6'5", 6'6", lengthy guards that Nate Oates is obviously hunting out. And with Mo Diabate leaving, you saw Corey Chest, the forward from LSU, visit this past week. I think he took a visit to Ole Miss as well. He is a Mo D, prototype, 6'8", 220, can't shoot, won't shoot, but he'll defend and he'll dunk. So is there a spot on the roster for him? I mean, presumably so. But you still got 4 Final Four teams that you still don't know who's going to leave those teams in the offseason. And then you have probably several that haven't entered the portal from other teams. So, I mean, when I said at the beginning, it's fluid, it's very fluid. I mean, sometimes you never know who will transfer and then jump on them when they do. So, I think they'll go after longer guards and probably one more forward, like a 3/4 spot forward, about 6'8", 6'9", that can defend type of player.
Depending on Jaron and Darion Reed too, though, right?
Yes. So Jaron and Darion are interesting cases because that Nate Oates loves Jaron. He said that he thinks he has all the potential in the world. He doesn't even know how much potential he has. Jaron doesn't. So I think they'll keep Jaron. And right now I've heard there's a lot of optimism about keeping Darion too. That's why you haven't seen anything about him in the portal yet. They really want to keep both of them because if you keep both of them, then you're not going to really need a guy like Chess come in because Darion fills that role as well, and he's a better shooter. And then Jaron obviously adds another 6'10", 6'11" stretch 4 that you can put with or behind Taylor Bowen and just have a ton of length in the front court, which is what they desperately need. So you keep those, you keep maybe LeBaron comes back, and you're really only looking for another combo guard that has some length with them. And I mean, after that, who really cares? You've got pretty much everything you need.
And could be Rylan Griffin at a discount. Who knows? I mean,
obviously that's been talked about. That would be interesting. And obviously he's familiar with the system and hate it didn't pan out with Kansas, but grass isn't always greener on the other side,
That is the truth.
And real quick before we let you go, because you're a high school coach, you know him well. your thoughts on Bucky McMillan to the SEC.
Oh man, super excited for my guy Bucky. I've gone to multiple clinics and heard him speak. One of the most, he's so influential, and he's so knowledgeable about the game. And everybody's familiar with Bucky Ball by now. What he did at Mountain Brook was outstanding. But what he did at Sanford in such a short amount of time with a program that was really dead in the water, to be honest, and took them to the tournament and had Kansas on the ropes in the NCAA tournament game. Didn't have a great year this year, but still Stanford will take that year any day or any year. It was great. So hopefully Texas A&M will back them with the funds and resources. They're kind of shy on doing that there in basketball, but if they buy into Bucky will buy into them, and he will have them in the upper tier of the SEC, no doubt about it.
And that'd definitely be exciting to see. But Jordan, we appreciate your time, man. Let the people know where they can find you on socials and online.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Drew said, I'm head basketball analyst at Tide Illustrated of the Rivals Network. I'm on Twitter at HarperNation24, and also have an Alabama basketball podcast called The Double Dribble Podcast that I record year round. Everything about Alabama basketball. It's about year 7 of the podcast now. Hard to believe.
Nice.
That Nate Oates is going to be at Alabama for 7 years. Yeah, I didn't even start the podcast because of Nate Oates. I started it a little bit before Avery got fired, and then lo and behold, it's been the most fun ever. So.
Well, it's easy to keep up that way then whenever a coach comes in and you also start a new project. So good stuff, Jordan. We appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate it.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Good stuff. Jordan Harper, Tide Illustrated. We'll take it to break. When we come back, we're going to be out of here from the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
The Bass Pro Shop's Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Pond Bronze Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Gunnersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shop's Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof, not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Here at North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are home for a total of 15 games in the month of April. Promotions include 4 fireworks shows, 2 bobblehead giveaways, 1 cat night, and even an appearance from Bluey to round out the month on April 27th. To get your tickets and learn more about everything going on at Toyota Field, check out TrashPandasBaseball.com.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Never worked.
Wrapping up here at the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo, presented by the MLF, as well as Miller Tech.
Which is Major League Fishing.
Yes, Major League Fishing. All right.
Yes.
Don't get it confused. Not the MLS, it's Major League Fishing. But we've had a lot of fun today.
We've had a packed show, and
dude,
it's flown
4
by.
guests, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And we've been talking Final Four, and I'm going to go on the record. I'm sticking with my bracket, man. I've got Duke and Florida, even though I think that Florida Auburn game is going to be epic.
Dude, I think if Jonai Broome is playing
Man.
100%, then I think that there's definitely an Auburn-Duke final in our future.
So you like Duke over Houston?
Oh yeah, I think that Duke is inevitably going to win it all, and I hate to have to throw that out there, but it's like I don't know when you come down. This is an ACC team that wasn't challenged too much throughout the regular season. They weren't beat up throughout the regular season, but they're still just as talented as any team in the SEC. And with all of these young talents, of course, it'll be gone next year. So.
I saw an NBA draft board today. 3 of the top 6, and that's Flag number 1, Malawich, I think, in the top 3, and then Con Knipple 6. So that's how talented these 3 freshmen are for Duke, and how they've meshed with those veterans like a Sonny James and all these guys that they brought in. I mean, it's been amazing to watch them fit together. They still have Tyrese Proctor, whose offensive efficiency has been off the charts. I mean, they're playing like a machine right now. Going to be interesting to see how they match up with the physicality of Houston. Because Houston's not going to be afraid. They're going to come out punching.
No,
they've got a better shooting team than they've had. But I'm going to be interested to see how Cooper Flagg deals with their physicality in the way he's played all year. And then, like I said, Malawich has been unbelievable around the rim. And then Nagamba, don't forget him, their backup big. He's a really good too. Another freshman, really, who's done a remarkable job. I mean, they've got such a talented squad that's fit together so well. And Duke's got a lot of weapons, but Houston is going to probably be as good a defensive team as they've seen all year. But it's going to come down to shot making for Houston as well. So it's going to be 2 great games. And like I said, that Auburn-Florida game, get ready for some cinema. Florida beat them in Neville 90-81, and don't be misunderstood. Bruce Pearl's been playing that up behind the scenes, and Florida, they've been wanting another shot at the Gators.
If you've been sleeping through this March Madness, this is the time to wake up, because we got the 2 number 1s and then another game with 2 number 1s, and then it's all going to explode. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful. You're going to be able to listen to it here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, but we might be done here. But that doesn't mean the show's done. It's over at 6:30 today, and then it's back open tomorrow at 11. But come on by, free admission, get yourself some equipment, and get to mingle around a little bit. It's a beautiful day here in the Tennessee Valley. But that's it for me and Drew. I've been John Abraham. This has been 97.7, live from the Red Crest Outdoor Sports Expo.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Installation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 21st at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belts, but a full year membership to Cherokee.